Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to start our journey on becoming a ReSharper Samurai. This is the first in a multi-part series where we will explore what ReSharper is and what it can do for you. If you're not familiar with what ReSharper is a code refactoring and code productivity tool created by JetBrains. It allows you to, with a few clicks of the keyboard, generate a bunch of code and save yourself some time where you don't have to do typing. This isn't going to be one of the other cool, hip, ReSharper training videos that you find on the net where they play ultra cool techno in the background and fly around the application at lightning speed where nobody talks and tells you what they're doing. This video will walk you through some of the various things that ReSharper can do for you. It'll do it at a pace in which you can learn and understand what is going on. I'm not going to make this the cool, hip techno video for two reasons. One, I'm not cool and I don't have techno. And two, I actually want you to learn something from this episode. Before I get started and showing you the demo, what I like to talk about is the keyboard bindings that I'm using. ReSharper allows you to have multiple various default keyboard bindings. I'm using the IntelliJ bindings, so if you see some things that are going on that you haven't seen before, that's why. I'm also going to leave this keyboard Jedi up here. This will show you my keystrokes. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do is I want to actually create a class that is public. I don't want to type it in like this. That's just lame. So I'm going to hold down Alt-Enter. And I'm going to get this little to public. If I hold it down again, I'll get to internal. Anytime you see this little yellow light bulb thing, there are other features or other refactorings that can take place. So if you hold down Alt-Enter, you'll get them. Now that I've created this, I actually want to use a live template. A live template within ReSharper is a code snippet, and ReSharper has a very nice live template manager. If you're not familiar with live templates, I do have another episode on that, so go ahead and check that out. I'm going to type in property. PROP. It's going to prompt me, and I want to make this a string. We'll call this type. Well, ReSharper allows me to do a lot of things. So now that I've gone ahead and created a property, maybe I want, a constructor that will implement that property as a construction parameter. So in order to do that, I can go ahead and hit Alt-Insert. Alt-Insert brings up the Generate menu. I'm going to go ahead and hit Constructor. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it I want the constructor with the parameter of type provided, and it knows what type to make it, how to name it, and how to set it. So pretty cool. I can do that pretty quickly and generate constructors. Let's go ahead and extract this class to an interface. Right? Many times when I'm doing interface-driven development, I'm going to create a concrete class, and I'm going to then extract the interface. So I'm going to hold down Control-Shift-R, get the refactor menu. I'm going to come down to Extract Interface. It's going to prompt me for what I'd like to extract. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the type into my interface as well. You'll notice I have a interface now created called iSoda. My concrete class implements iSoda. I don't want this interface in the same class, so I'm going to go ahead and hit down Alt-Enter. And I'm going to move this to another file. So now I have a file that's called iSoda that implements or holds the iSoda logic. And if I bounce back to Soda, you'll notice that I don't have that in my class anymore. Well, let's say I'm going to go the reverse of this. I actually have my interface first and I actually want to derive a class from it. So I can do that very easily. Again, hold on Alt-Enter. I'm going to create a derived type. We'll call this Diet Soda. I'm going to bounce over here, change this to public. And I'm getting a little red squigglies here, as well as the red light bulb, telling me that I have some issues. Well, I want to go ahead and implement the members for iSoda. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt-Enter, tell me to implement members. And we're going to do return Dr. Pepper, and we'll go ahead and just do, var foo equals value, because I don't feel like doing anything meaningful with this yet. So now that I've shown you real quick how you can take an interface and extract a concrete class out of it, I've shown you how you can have a concrete class and extract an interface out of it. Let's do something else. Let's say I'm in my interface and I want to add a new property to it, or a new value to it. Let's do a method. Well, I've gone ahead and I've created a method called SumMethod, given a property of or a parameter of value. I'm going to go ahead and want to implement this in all of my concretes. So I want to go back to iSoda again. go ahead and do implement, and again, I can push that to my concretes very easily and very quickly. Now what if I want to do something different, such as create a method on my concrete, and I want to actually push that up to my interface. I can do that. I can hold down Control-Shift-R. I can come down here and tell it to push members up. And I will immediately have a method on my interface called another method. So I can show you real quickly. I don't have to go and type it in two places, or I don't have to start off in the interface and then mandatory go down to my concrete. I can stay in my concrete and push everything back up. Well, what if I don't like the name of this? Right? I've got this implemented in 3 or 4 different places. I don't want to actually go through and find it all. I can hit F2. It'll bring up the rename. I've just renamed that in all locations. And I can actually go backwards and do that as well. I can go in the concrete and put back. And it knows back and forth how to do it. So now I don't have to do the find and replace. I don't have to change it in one spot and do a compile and see where it's broken. I can just do an F2 and it'll do a smart rename. So in a matter of about 5 or 6 minutes, I've shown you 8 or 10 different things that you can do with ReSharper. This is the introductory level. You know, basically how to move things around. In future episodes, we'll talk about more detailed, more complex scenarios, and we'll start getting into more detail, more depth. So I hope you learned something. Until next time.